y'all, welcome back to the ministry. I just had a wonderful revelation within the past couple of days. And as I was pondering this revelation, I had this massive epiphany. And I felt like I needed to share it with you guys. Because when I came across it, I was like, whoa. Satan is a tricky little trickster, he is. Let me tell you something. God knows you from the beginning of time. He knew you in your mama's womb. For those of you that are waiting on your kingdom spouse, I'm going to need you to check something. I'm going to explain this scenario to you, and I want y'all to think about this for real. Because you might find that you may have walked through the same experience, okay? Because when God showed me this, I was like, I didn't know whether to be mad or to laugh when I saw this. So, as you're going through life, God has a path that he desires for you to go in, right? He knew you from your mother's womb. But as we know, Satan is Satan. So he's going to try to interfere in the course of your process in order to gain access to you. Okay? So, from the people waiting on kingdom marriage, I'm going to show you this first. Okay? This is what happened. So, when I was a child, I feel like I want to say when I was a child, I thought as a child, but now that I'm grown, I think as an adult. But as a child, there was a desire that I had. And I didn't know that desire came from the Lord. It was something specific that my 5-year-old self prayed about. And I didn't know it was a prayer because I thought I was just being funny. Okay? Now, 5-year-old self said that. Okay? Now, it's something that the Lord showed me later on that he gave me revelation of a couple days ago. I happened to be thinking about a clip from a movie, right? Now, this movie had a reference to the person's name that is my spouse. Okay? Not going to tell you the name of the movie. Anyway, I happened to look at that clip and I was thinking about the song because something brought the song that was played in that clip up in my mind. And I said, when did that movie come out? And I scrolled back and I said, okay, let me look at when this movie came out. So I looked at when the movie came out. The movie came out when I was about 8 years old. I think it was 1990 something. 5, I think the movie came out. Catch this. There was an action that occurred in that clip that was in relation directly to something in relation to my spouse. Almost identical. Okay? So, in the action in the clip happening, I'm trying to speak in code, y'all. Come on now. I ended up saying, let me go find out something in relation to my spouse. My spouse did something exactly 1 year, almost to the date. It's trackable to that. Didn't know who he was. Had no. Okay. 1 year to the date. Now, me tracking that, I was like, hold up. Wait a minute. Then I thought about something. Because there's this guy's name that keeps coming up. But this guy was in a TV show that I used to watch when I was a child, right around that same time frame. I used to watch this show I probably started watching it when I was about 9 years old. Because this person used to do a skit comedy at the same time that I was about 9. Then he got his own television show with his best friend. Okay? But this guy, his name was the name of the guy that I ended up dating later on. But I'm Why am I telling you this? You probably sit there, why is she telling me this? When I tell you, you're going to be like, oh my God. You ready? Okay. So, the skit comedy. I watched that from 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there. Then the other guy got his show, and he used to do TV movies on one of the, family channels. Him and his friend used to do TV movies and other little projects. And this guy had the same name as the guy that I dated from high school all through my college years. The only guy I ever dated. I was like, wait, what? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, do you see it yet? Anybody catching on? What happened? You haven't caught it? All right, I'm gonna clear it up for you. So, from 9 to maybe about 14 to 16 years old, I'm watching this television show with this guy whose name ends up being the exact name of the guy I end up dating. Granted, when I went into high school, and remember I said I watched this guy's show from 9 to about 16, right? Because I watched him on a sketch comedy show, then I watched him in movies and various other things. Which means while I was watching it, I was hearing this guy's name over and 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 over. Have you caught it yet? Haven't caught it yet? Okay, hold on. So, I go to high school. The first guy I come into contact in high school is the guy I ended up dating when I left high school. It's the same guy. But guess what? This guy's name is the exact name of the character on that show I was watching for 6 years. Okay? Same name. This man put me through hell for 10 years. Just about. Why did I say that? You ready for the revelation? Hear me. You ready? You ready? You ever seen the movie Focus? If you don't or have not, I'm going to need you to look up the clip with Will Smith explaining about planting a seed. And they were talking about how they always were able to pass a con, okay? So whenever they were trying to trick a person into doing what they wanted them to do, they would fake a con like this. He said that what they would do is they would make sure they kept putting something in front of the person's face over and over and over again. Same thing over again. So every single time the person saw that thing, they would subconsciously store it in their brain. So if they wanted them to play a certain number, they kept putting 55, 55, 55, 55 in front of their face. Okay? So they would go in the direction of said number, right? Okay. Did you pick it up yet? Okay. What happened? My spouse's name was dropped in front of me when I was 8 years old. Matter of fact, it was dropped in front of me when I was 7. Something in relation to my spouse was dropped in front of me when I was 8. I was seeing a bunch of stuff in relation to my spouse all through that time frame. But because the second name from 9 to 16 was dropped in front of my face over and over, catch it. When the guy with the name that was identical to the character on that television show came in front of me, though I wasn't consciously relating to that name, over. That's how the counterfeit slipped in. See how that worked? And catch this. I was seeing stuff in relation to my spouse all through the time I was with that individual. From the time I was going through childhood all the way. I was seeing stuff in relation to my spouse. The whole time. But guess what? because that other person's name was over, consistently. How many years was it? 7 or 8? What was it? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, yeah, it was about 8 years. It was 8 years. I was kept hearing that name. So when a person that was identical with the same name came into my presence, what happened? I was drawn to said person. See how that works? Satan will subliminally, and I need you to catch this because guess what? Some of you, the Lord has been showing you certain things in relation to your spouse. You probably ignored it because you didn't want to believe that was the person. Same way that God uses signs and all of this kind of stuff. You don't depend on these signs, no, but God will use them. And some of you, you know how people say success leaves clues? God leaves clues too. The distraction was right in front of my face. It wasn't until I went through all that with that individual, broke up with him, did I recognize the differentiation. And it was only recently I've been hearing the other person's name and I'm like, wait a minute. That's what that was. It was a ploy because Satan will do the same thing. He'll do that to you right now. Some of y'all, I guarantee you, tell me I'm lying. Some of y'all been hearing those exes' names randomly. And you sit there like, I have no interest in that ex. Why the hell am I hearing his name all of a sudden? Why? Satan trying to subliminally plant a message until you break it. You got to break that. Because he's trying to. I was talking to a friend of mine several months back, and she made the point of saying they're trying to get back in. It's trying to create an open door. Just like she said that, go back to the clip of focus that I was talking about. You hear the name over and over and over again. Why? Because Satan wanted to what? Trigger you. So when you saw the person with name, you would, let me go engage that person in conversation. See how that works? Because you kept, what did they say in focus? They kept putting the number in front of the person's name or in front of the person so that they would what? Go for that number. So when they went to make the bid, what happened? That number was the number that they went for. That was the way that they ended up falling for the con. See how that worked? Some of you fell for the counterfeit because of a long game that Satan played on you to keep putting certain things in front of your face in order for you to fall for the counterfeit. In order for you, when that counterfeit was introduced, because remember how witchcraft works. If you haven't watched Stephanie P's videos, remember how witchcraft works. They try to send a love spell and they will try to what? Interact with you in the spirit through your dream realm first before they engage you in reality. Go back through what I just said. See how that worked? When I came to that revelation, I didn't know whether to be pissed off or what. I was like, so technically I could have avoided all this lengthy, long time had I not fell for the audio con. It was a setup. From the time I was 9 years old all the way up. I wasn't able to see it. And some of you, it was probably the same. Go back and think about it. I need y'all to go back and think about it. Did you hear your spouse? Did you hear your spouse's name when you were younger? Did you hear the counterfeit's name before he came into your life? Think about that. I need you to seriously think about that. Because it was a spiritual setup. And I want you to go look at that clip from Focus. That was my whole word. I hope that blessed you. Think about that. See you in the next one.